The Boston Celtics are at a fascinating crossroads, and whether fans realize it yet or not, the next move they make could quietly define the rest of their season. On the surface, Boston is surviving. In reality, they are adapting on the fly. With Jason Tatum sidelined, the Celtics have been forced to reshape their identity in real time, leaning heavily on Jaylen Brown and asking the rest of the roster to evolve around him. And now, as trade rumors continue to swirl, one name has emerged that could dramatically alter how this team operates going forward: Daniel Gafford. According to league insiders, Boston has expressed legitimate interest in the Dallas Mavericks center. Not casual curiosity, not background noise, but actual consideration. And that alone raises a massive question. What exactly are the Celtics trying to become in this version of the season? To understand why Daniel Gafford is even being discussed, you have to start with where Boston currently stands. This Celtics team was not built to play this way. It was designed around spacing, versatility, and star-driven creation from the wing, primarily through Jason Tatum. When Tatum went down, everything shifted. Jaylen Brown didn't just step up. He took over. He became the offensive engine, the closer, the decision-maker late in games. And with that shift came a very specific requirement: space. Brown's downhill aggression works best when the floor is open, when defenders can't camp in the paint, when driving lanes stay clean, when help defense hesitates for even half a second. That spacing has been one of the main reasons Boston has stayed competitive. It's also why the idea of adding a traditional paint-bound center immediately sparks debate. Daniel Gafford is many things. He is physical, he is active, he is strong around the rim, he finishes efficiently, he blocks shots, he runs the floor hard. What he is not is a shooter. In fact, he has never made a three-point shot in his NBA career. That single fact sits at the center of this entire discussion. Joe Mazzulla's system at its core thrives on five-out spacing. Even when Boston uses bigger lineups, the threat of shooting from every position matters. It forces rotations, it stretches coverage, it creates chaos. A center who lives exclusively in the paint changes those equations immediately. And yet, the interest makes sense when you look deeper. Boston has been playing an exhausting brand of basketball. Without Tatum, the margin for error shrinks. Defensive possessions become more taxing. Rebounding becomes more critical. Rim protection becomes less forgiving when rotations are late. And over the course of a long season, especially one where the Celtics are trying to simply stay afloat until reinforcements possibly arrive, interior stability becomes extremely valuable. This is where Gafford enters the picture. He represents reliability in areas where Boston has been inconsistent. He would give them a true rim protector on a nightly basis. He would absorb physical matchups that currently wear down players like Neemias Queta. He would offer vertical spacing as a lob threat, something the Celtics rarely utilize but could benefit from in spurts. And perhaps most importantly, he would give Boston a different look, something they currently lack. The question is whether different automatically means better. When Jaylen Brown attacks, defenses collapse. That collapse creates open shots. But if a defender knows that the center never leaves the paint, that collapse becomes easier. Help defenders recover faster. Rotations tighten, passing windows shrink. Suddenly, Brown has to work harder for the same results. This is the delicate balance Boston must consider. Do they want to add strength and protection at the rim at the cost of offensive fluidity? Or do they stay committed to the spacing-first identity that has kept them competitive despite missing their best player? It's not just about Gafford as a player. It's about timing. If the Celtics believe this season is about survival until Tatum returns, then a move like this becomes more logical. Gafford would help absorb minutes, protect the paint, and reduce the nightly physical toll on the roster. He would make Boston tougher, more durable, less fragile. But if the Celtics believe this version of the team must continue to grow offensively, continue to refine chemistry around Brown, and continue to build habits that translate directly into postseason basketball, then the fit becomes far more questionable. There's also the matter of what Boston would have to give up. Trade rumors suggest that Anthony Simons has been widely discussed in trade conversations. Simons represents shooting, shot creation, and offensive burst off the bench. Moving him for a non-shooting center fundamentally shifts the team's offensive profile. It would signal that Boston is prioritizing defense and physicality over firepower. That's not necessarily wrong, but it is a choice. Gafford would help in specific matchups, against teams with dominant interior scorers, against opponents that punish Boston on the glass, lineups that overwhelm them physically. He would not, however, be a universal solution. He would need to be deployed carefully, strategically, and within a clear framework. This is where Joe Mazzulla's role becomes critical. Mazzulla has shown a willingness to adapt, but he is also deeply committed to his principles: pace, spacing, decision-making. If Boston brings in a center who cannot shoot, the system must adjust around that limitation. That adjustment cannot be half-hearted. It must be intentional. Otherwise, the Celtics risk solving one problem while creating another. And that is the core danger of this potential move. Boston has found something without Tatum. Not perfection, not dominance, but an identity. They know how they want to play. They know what works. Any trade they make should reinforce that process, not disrupt it. Daniel Gafford is not a bad player. In many systems, he is exactly what teams need. The question is whether he is what this version of the Celtics needs right now. Front office understands this. Brad Stevens understands this. Every move Boston makes from this point forward must be viewed through a long-term lens, not just a short-term patch. If the Celtics believe that adding Gafford helps them weather the storm, keeps them competitive, and preserves their core until reinforcements arrive, then the interest makes sense. If they believe that spacing, versatility, and offensive flow are non-negotiable, then caution is warranted. Either way, the fact that Boston is even considering this move tells us something important. They are not standing still. They are actively evaluating what this team is, what it can be, and what it needs to survive a season that has already demanded significant adaptation. And as trade deadlines approach and rumors intensify, one thing is clear: the Celtics are walking a tightrope. Every decision matters. Every fit matters. And one move, even one that seems small on the surface, could reshape the trajectory of their entire season. If you enjoyed this deep breakdown of Celtics trade rumors, roster construction, and what Daniel Gafford could mean for Boston, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest NBA analysis. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would Daniel Gafford help the Celtics, or would he complicate what they've already built?